There's an advanced tax strategy that I was implementing actually just a couple times last week. It makes a lot of sense early in retirement, but it's complicated. I've got that and more coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of The Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. So we do comprehensive financial planning, say it every video. That's taking a look at all 6 areas of your financial life, but not in a vacuum, not in isolation. Know how they fit together. Because when you're making significant financial decisions, really, big ones or small ones, you've got to look at how that financial decision is going to impact all 6 areas of your financial life to determine whether that's a great decision or just a good decision, or whether it's you don't have a choice. You've got to, this is changing in your financial life. Well, how's it going to impact the 6 areas of your financial life? And is there a way for you to choose so that it impacts those, all 6 areas as favorably as possible? So when you're thinking of big financial decisions like retirement or buying a house, or something seemingly small, like how much to have in an emergency fund, or should you be contributing pre-tax or Roth, taking a look at all 6 areas of your financial life is where you're going to get that wisdom from, where you'll be able to see of a range of good options, which ones are the great options that you need to consider because they bring synergy to all 6 areas of your financial life. So we're geeks. We are passionate about that, and we do that. We have a team of about 80 financial professionals. About 20 of them are certified financial planners that do comprehensive financial planning, working with individuals, families, small businesses, and apply this. And I'm blessed to get to work on a team of some of the best financial planners in the industry. And so there's a lot of advanced tax planning strategies because we've got a full CPA firm and we do a lot of taxes as well. We do a lot of tax planning strategies, and there was one complicated one, doesn't fit for a lot of people. It often fits early in retirement, but just by coincidence, I was meeting with 2 different folks last week, and I used this exact same kind of combo strategy and thought I'd explain it to you just in case it fits for you or for your folks or maybe for you out there in the future. So this combination strategy is combining a qualified charitable distribution along with a Roth conversion. So a QCD and a Roth conversion. And before getting into the examples, let me explain the qualified charitable distribution. I think most people understand the Roth conversion. Okay, that's the process of taking pre-tax dollars where you've saved up into a pre-tax 401k or an IRA, and then moving some of those pre-tax dollars over to your Roth IRA so that when they're in the Roth, they'll grow tax-free forever. Well, this process, anytime money comes out of a pre-tax account, it's taxable. So the process of converting dollars, moving dollars from your pre-tax IRA to your Roth IRA, those dollars are taxable at that time, but then they're in a Roth IRA and they can grow tax-free forever. So therefore, doing a Roth conversion when you're young in a low tax bracket or early in retirement when you still have decades of growth potential can make a lot of sense. So that's the Roth conversion. But let me explain the qualified charitable distribution. A QCD, qualified charitable distribution, is something that you have to be at least 70 and a half or older to be able to do. And if you're donating money, if you're giving money to a qualifying 501c3 nonprofit, then you're qualified charitable distribution. You can send money directly from your IRA. Can't happen with a 401k or 403b. It's got to be IRA. Directly from an IRA, directly to that charity. Not to you and then to the charity. If you did that, that money would be taxable to you, it would land on your tax return, and then you'd need to try to get a write-off or a deduction on your taxes for the donation you made. But because so few people are itemizing their deductions, or even if you were able to itemize your deductions, doesn't help you on your state return, doing a qualified charitable distribution, sending money directly from your IRA directly to that charity, means that money doesn't land on that income, that withdrawal from your IRA, doesn't land on your tax return at all. So it goes against what I said earlier. Anytime you take money out of your IRA, it's going to be taxable. For a qualified charitable distribution, it's not. It's not. Yeah, you'll get a tax form for it and you'll have to report it on your return, but it's not taxable because the money went directly to that qualifying charity and you're over age 70.5. So if you're charitably inclined and are making donations out there in retirement or after age 70.5, that can make a big difference in the amount of taxes that you owe, the tax bracket that you're in, and so on. So here's the situation. First situation, meaning with a single individual who's currently in the 12% tax bracket, happily in the 12% tax bracket. So has saved a lot for retirement, but also was an owner in her company, and therefore when she retired, about half of her total portfolio was in an IRA, pre-tax IRA, but then the other half was outside of an IRA. So not an IRA, not a Roth IRA. And so what we've been doing is having her supplement her income from her non-IRA, because as she draws that money out, it's not taxable. And then we do Roth conversions or other strategies with the other dollars as it makes sense. Well, she's now age 70.5. And therefore, she's donating to the church and to a couple other causes. She donates about 10 grand a year. So every year, we take 10 grand out of her IRA. We're doing this on an ongoing basis, giving it directly to the church and to the causes she cares about as a qualified charitable distribution. It doesn't go to her. The money comes out of her IRA, goes directly to those charities. Therefore, it's coming out of her IRA. Otherwise, it would be coming out of her pocket, but it's not showing up as taxable income. By doing that, she's staying within that 12% tax bracket. And because that is such a low tax bracket, tax rates could go up in a couple of years from now. They could go up beyond that. If she still has dollars that are left over at the end of her life, then her daughter will inherit the dollars, and she's currently in the 22% tax bracket. So we want to pay as much tax as possible in the lowest possible brackets. So we're doing this qualified charitable distribution of 10 grand, but then after that, we're also doing a Roth conversion of whatever the amount is to get her to the very top of that 12% tax bracket. It happens to be about 15 grand a year that we're doing a Roth conversion for, shifting that money from her pre-tax IRA over to her Roth IRA. Combining that's 25 grand that in total is coming out of her IRA. That's going to limit and reduce her future required minimum distribution and get her donations and charitable donations done without it being taxable, and willingly paying dollars at a low 12% tax bracket and having them grow tax-free out there in the future for the rest of her life, and if her kids inherit it, for 10 years beyond that. Now, the second strategy sort of combines this qualified charitable distribution, or second scenario, I should say, this QCD with RMD, required minimum distribution, and a Roth conversion on top of this. And you've got to make sure you get the timing right on this. So in this situation, very different, married couple, they're in the 22% tax bracket, very close to the 24% tax bracket, okay? And close to the limit where they would have to pay an income-related monthly adjustment amount on their Medicare. So here's the scenario for them. They're also charitably inclined, but they're at an age, they're both over 73, so they're required to take out money from their IRAs. That's what's putting them into the 22% tax bracket. Your qualified charitable distribution can count towards your required minimum distribution. So if you're required, in his situation, he's required to take out about 12 grand a year. Well, they're contributing to the church about 12 grand a year. So we could take that full 12,000 out of his IRA, send it directly to the church as a qualified charitable distribution, and that will satisfy his RMD. He won't need to take anything else in addition beyond that, because the QCD covers that. And then we take her required minimum distribution, which is, just a sizable amount, lot more than him, and they're in the 22% tax bracket. So beyond that, we take a look every single year at all their other income sources, Social Security, pensions, and so on, and say, well, how much room is there between where you stand right now in the top of the 22% tax bracket or to the top of the threshold where you would, not be subject to an income-related monthly adjustment amount, but just a little bit below that. Well, each year for the past couple, it's been about 20 grand. There's about 20 grand of room between where they would be if they, based on their situation, but not counting the qualified charitable distribution because that's not taxable, between where their income would otherwise be and where the top of that IRMA threshold would be, or the bottom of that, depending on how you look at it. And we're doing a Roth conversion of that amount so that we're paying tax willingly at the 22% tax bracket, but having those dollars then positioned in the Roth IRA to grow tax-free for the rest of their life. And because they're, like I said, in their early 70s, gosh, there's still, a few decades, if not 3 decades, when you include the 10-year rule, if kids inherit this, where those dollars would then be positioned in a Roth and be able to grow tax-free forever. Couple complicated financial planning, tax planning strategies there on that last one. You want to do the qualified charitable distribution before doing your RMD. If you take your full RMD and then do your qualified charitable distribution, then you've taken more out of your IRA than really you need to, since your QCD could have counted as an RMD. So guys, this is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. You sort of need to be a geek like we are, where you enjoy crunching these numbers and looking at strategies and seeing what makes the most sense. But early in retirement, if you're charitably inclined, and if it makes sense for you to do so, combining that qualified charitable distribution with a Roth conversion. And even after your RMD, even though your RMD, a Roth conversion doesn't count towards your RMD, it could still make sense for you to do above and beyond that. So work with your certified financial planner on those strategies, whether they make sense for you or for your folks. Work with your CFP on that. If you don't have a CFP on your team, contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wise1show.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.